This is also, by the way, the age of commoditization. I love this word, but I hate this word. And you all should feel a little bit nervous when I say this word, because thank you for turning me up, by the way. I feel like the voice of God now. Hello. It's nice. Commoditization is a death knell for marketing. Now, to remind you what we're talking about when I say commoditization, it's this idea that goods or services become indistinguishable from competing offerings. And indistinguishable should be something that makes all of you a little nervous, because for marketing, indistinguishable means interchangeable. It means generic. It means standardized. It is a complete insult to your brand if your brand is seen as generic or interchangeable or standardized. We experience this in B2C. We experience this as consumers when we're inundated with fashion brands, right? The world of fashion is not differentiated based on the product itself. It's differentiated on the brand and the fashion house and the designer behind it. We see it in cars. We choose a car based on the brand that we're familiar with. We see it in toilet paper. Although if you're like me, it's Amazon, so you're buying it online and it comes to your house because you're that lazy. But it's not just in consumers. We see this in B2B. So clients of mine who sell to the head of HR technology, they're competing with all of these vendors. These logos, many of which you can't even see, are all competing for the same share of wallet, the head of HR. We're in marketing. Who here is a marketer, right? You've all seen this graphic. This is the number of technologies that exist for the marketer to buy. Poor Tyler at Vidyard is selling against probably 13, 14 other video marketing vendors, right? I had a startup, and does this have a thing on it? Oh, cool. Look at it. Anyone have cats? I have a laser pointer. Okay. I had a startup in MarTech. That was when I was the co-founder and CMO of a company called Sintel. We were a customer intelligence platform. We are somewhere in this, right there. I was competing against 7,500 additional vendors, all competing for attention and share of wallet with the marketing buyer. And guess what? All of these technologies all have access to the same email marketing platforms, Facebook ads. There's no difference between what each of these vendors has to market and do their selling. Now, this is not just MarTech either. FinTech is overwhelmed with technology. Even if you sell supply chain and logistics software, you are competing with more companies than ever. The barrier to entry is low, not only on entering a market, but on building technology. It's so easy to build technology today that so many companies see the opportunity. You could even sell drones, and there's a slew of competing suppliers, technology solutions, partners, all competing for the audience's attention that are using drones. Now I know you're sitting there going, we don't sell drones, we don't sell supply chain. This is your market. Thank you, RXinsider, for making this beautiful graphic for me. This is in that pharmacy platinum guide that a lot of you are advertising in. There are 450 vendors in that platinum pages guide. You are all competing with more companies than ever. In the 20-year history of RXinsider, the number of vendors has only grown. And I know, this is a lot. And I know this is also very doom and gloom, but my style is pretty frank. And I just wanted to be honest about the state of the market that you're all in. Truth number 4 is that you're cursed. I don't mean this guy, although we broke that in 2004 in case anyone forgot. My father, who has been a Red Sox fan since 1901, I think. Don't tell him I said that. He actually was elated. It was like somebody had found Jesus for him. It was this moment that for 84 years or 86 years, what's the number? The Red Sox were cursed. And we treated it like a curse. There were all these, gimmicks on trying to break the curse. We had a lot of politicians that would always say, this is the year. It was a thing that we held on to as a company, or as a city, very proudly. So that when we broke it, it was momentous. I think in the same way that a B2B vendor today, obviously, regardless of the vertical that you're in or the person that you're selling to, has to treat this like a momentous curse that needs to be broken. I call this the curse of the consideration set. It's this problem that happens when all the vendors in a space sound and look the same. And it's a very unique problem for 2019 and 2020 and 2021. This is kind of our new reality. This is kind of table stakes for us. The curse of the consideration set, to me, refers to that consideration set that you're put into when a buyer is making a decision, right? They line you up against a number of vendors. It's a momentous occasion to even get into that consideration set. Forget trying to break through it. To the buyer, a lot of the options just look the same. And that's when you become generic, standardized, interchangeable, commoditized. It's a really difficult place to react to as a marketer. It's a really difficult place to have to come back from. But there are ways to proactively combat it. Now, if you experience any of these symptoms, see your doctor, but you might be suffering from the curse of the consideration set. Slow deal cycles. This is what happens when your buyer doesn't know the difference between you and a vendor, so who do they choose? They don't know. That confusion lengthens the actual time of a sales cycle. It actually makes it harder for them to make a decision because they don't quite know what the difference is. Also, when you're in a locked exchange and combative position with a vendor, all you can do is compete on price. And so you see a price war, the race to the bottom. Who can charge the least amount? Because guess what? They're all the same. So we're going to pay the least amount that we can. You also might be seeing this in marketing engagement. The ads that you're placing may not be performing like they once did. The conversions on your website, no matter how much video you've got, Tyler, they're not converting like they once did because guess what? You're sounding and looking the exact same to the rest of the competitive set, to the buyer. It's a curse. So the question, the seminal question that we're all here to answer is this. How do you break free from the pack when the pack looks the same to the buyer?